welcome to QA Secret. In this video, we'll discuss about relative locators and compound locators. So let's start with relative locators. Relative locators are introduced in Selenium 4. It is also called as friendly locators. These locators are useful when it is not easy to construct a locator for an element. So the aim of these new locators to find web elements relative to another known web elements. So there is one function get bounding client rect in JavaScript which is used to get the size and position of the elements on a web page, and Selenium uses this information to locate the neighboring elements. So I can show you that JavaScript function. So if you see in this web page, I have navigated to one dummy page, um, and I have to find the size and position of this first above paragraph having id above. So what I can do, I'm going to console, and here I have written const element is equal to document.get element by id. The id is above, and here I am just calling this get bounding client rect function. So if I hit return, so if you see this this function is giving me the bottom position, height, left, right, top and width, all these details. So actually internally Selenium uses this function to find the position and size of that element. Along with that, it uses the same information to locate the neighboring elements. So now we will discuss on relative locators by taking an example. In this example, if you see my screen, there is one email address field and password field, and here suppose the email address field is not identifiable but the password field is identifiable, and we have to find the email address field web element with respect to password field web element. So this can be achieved by following simple 3 steps. First, we have to find or locate the reference element, and here the reference element is a password. So by writing this line, we can get the web element for the password field. Now we have to create the relative by object. So then we can call static method of relative locator class, and the with method will allow us to specify the locator type of the target element with respect to the original reference element. And after that we can use method like above, below, to left of, to right of and near to define the proximity relationship. And these above, below, to left of, to right of, near are the actually relative locators. So here I write relative locator is the class name and with is the method, and I am passing the parameter by dot tag name because the locator type I am passing the locator type of the target element, and here the locator type of the target element is input. So that's why by dot tag name input, and after that I am calling above method because this email address field is present above the password. This will give me the relative by object of email, and using this relative by object I can find the web element email. Discuss about different relative locators like above, below, to left of, to right of, near by taking an dummy site example, and let's write the code. So I am taking this dummy site for writing different relative locators. So first we'll write using above relative locator. So I want to find this element with respect to this element. So let's inspect this element. So this I suppose in this case this we don't know the exact locator for this the first line. So we have to find this first line with respect to this medium line, which is present in between these two line. And so let's open IntelliJ. And let's open a new class, relative locator test. So I'm creating, so I'm just defining one WebDriver instance, and after that I'm writing one test by using the other test annotation of testng. So public void test, and here we'll use above relative locator. So I'm just giving them test above. And first step, so first we have to initialize this driver reference variable using new Chrome driver. So it will open the Chrome browser, and after that we'll navigate to that URL. So driver.get, and this is the URL. So now I'm navigating to the URL. Now I have to locate the reference element. So the reference element in my case is this is the line, and this line. So this line has id mid, so I can locate this reference element. So web element is equal to driver dot find element. Here I can write by dot id because it has the id attribute. So I will take this id attribute, and okay. And now what we can do, we can create a relative by object with respect to this mid web element. So what we can do, we can write relative locator dot with here by dot tag name I am using, and the target tag name we are trying to find is td paragraph. So I am passing paragraph here, then which is present above this element. Actually, so which is present above this element. So we can store this we can store this paragraph, we can store this in a variable called by above is equal to this one. Now this is pointing to the first paragraph. Then to let's now we need to print the paragraph text to ensure that it is pointing the first paragraph. So what I'll do, I'll write s out, and here I'll write driver dot find element, and I can pass this above, and using get text method, which will get me the text present inside that web element. So it should print the this text is above. So if I run this one, so if you see, the text is above is already printed. So we use here the relative locator above, and we have find out the first paragraph text using this relative locator above. So similarly we can write another text. So I'll just copy paste the same text, and here we'll text below actually. So so here we can text below. So we'll take the same medium paragraph, and inside this um, mid paragraph there is one paragraph present, this text is below, and we have to identify this text. So what we can do, what we can do here, so same thing it will go to, and we have to find this element using this by dot id medium, and after that we have to find a paragraph which is present below this element. So you can write below method, and if we print out the text from that element, it should print the this text is below. Okay, so it should print this one. So if I run this one, so it print this text is below, and after that it is printing these values, because uh, inside that the table is there having different values. So that's why that table got printed, because it is inside this paragraph tag. So that's why it is printed, which is expected, which is correct. So the below is also working. Similarly we can we can write using two left of and two right of. So here what we can use, we can use this element center, and yeah, and we have to find what are the elements present to the left of this element, and to the right of this element, to above of this element, and below of this element. So what we'll do, we'll take this center element, and we'll find all the elements present on above of this element and below of this element, and right and left. So what I can do, I can just write another text. I'll just write another text by creating a new class, relative locators test 2. Here I'll web driver I'm importing this web driver. Now I'm just creating one test, and here I'll just write public void test. So I'll just write above here. So we'll find all the elements present above this center element. So this is this 5 is in center, so having id center. So I want to find all the elements present on above of this element. So what I can do, I created one test. So first I have to initialize this driver to new Chrome driver. Then I have to navigate to that URL. So driver.get, we can write this element. Then we have to find the reference element. So web element here we can write center is equal to driver dot find element by dot id. Here the reference element having id is equal to center. Okay, and now we have to create a relative by object. So I can write by, I can write by elements is equal to relative locator dot, I have to pass with method. So I want to find what are the elements present on top of or above of this element, and these are, if you see, these all the elements are present inside TT actually. So I want to find all the TT present above the center TD. So that's why here I have to pass relative locator by dot, I just pass the tag name as TD, and after that I'll call. So I want find all the TTs present above. So I am calling above, and my element is here center. So I am passing center here. So it will give me all the TTs present above center, and I'll store this in a list of web elements. List of web element list web element list is equal to driver dot find elements, and I am passing this elements here. So this will give me list of web element, and so I want to print I want to get the all the elements present above of the center element, and I want to print their ID, because if I print their ID I'll get to know what are the elements present above that. So to just for our reference, so what I'll do, I can just write web element, I'll just write web element dot stream dot map element. I'll just write a lambda expression e dot get attribute, and here the attribute is ID. So I want to print ID of these all these web elements. So I am either get attribute dot, I'll dot call for each. So and I'll write s out. So what it will do, it will print ID of all the web elements which are present above the center element. So if I run this text, it should print So if you see, the id is printed second, first and third. So second is the center, first is 1, and the third is 3, so which is expected. So above this center element, there are three elements present. One is second, 1 and 3. So that is what it is printed. So that is expected behavior. So here I use the relative locator above actually. And this line I have used stream API and lambda expressions. So we'll discuss in our Java course. So you can also use a normal for loop, and you can get the attribute of individual web element, and using system.out.println you can also print. So I just use stream API to print in a single line. Okay, so this is for above method. Similarly, we can use below to see what are the locators present below this center element. So similarly, you can write test below. I just copy pasted the text. So here you just change to below here, below method. So below center element we can see what are the elements present. So if you run this one, so it is printing 8th, 7th and 9th. So if you see 8th, 7th and 9th present below 5, which is correct. Similarly, we can use left off and 2 left off and 2 right off. So I am here using same method and just changing this method to 2 left off, and this method name will be 2 left off. And if you see here, it is fourth, first and 7th it is printing. So if you see so this is fourth, first and 7th because it is present left of uh, left of 5. So 1, 4 and 7, so which is expected fourth, first and 7th, which is correct. So this is left of example. Similarly, we can do for right of. Copy paste. I'm just doing copy paste to save time. To so to right off, and here you can use to right off, and it should print what it should print 6th, 3rd and 9th. So if I run this, 6th, 3rd and 9th, which is correct. Similarly, we can use near locator also, which will print all the elements nearer to the center element. So here you can write test near, and here I am changing to near, and if I run this one, it will print all the elements nearer to the center element. So it will print everything almost. So 1, 4, 7, 8, 9, 6, 3, 2, all the elements. And if you see, all the elements are printed, so which is expected. So this is all about relative locators. Also we can write relative locators by chaining different relative locators. So I'll just write one example by chaining different locators. So uh, you can write test chaining. So what I have did by elements, here I am writing with by dot tag name dot near center, right? So uh, so here you can write I think above center dot to right of by dot by dot above center by dot id, and here I have pass is equal to second. Let's see what it is printing. So it is printing third, which is expected. So what I did here, I have chained two relative locators. So here I have taking it, should the locator should be present above center and to right of second. So if you go to this page, so I have told above center means it is pointing to 2, and to right of second means 3. Okay, so that is what it is printing 3, which is expected. So we can also call the chaining of relative locators to find the web elements, and I have already mentioned in the notes also, you can call the we can also chain relative locators if needed, and I have also given an example. And compound locators, so compound locators, basically Selenium WebDriver API has several support classes that enables the composition of different locators type. These classes are by ID or name, by chained, and by all. So by ID or name, basically this class seeks by ID, and if it is not available it will seeks by name. So if the ID is not present, it will use the name attribute and it can find the locator. Similarly, by chain, it will this class 6 elements in a sequence. That means the second class should appear inside the first one, and so on. And similarly, by all, this class 6 all elements that matches the number of location strategies, and the following and logic condition for these locators. So we can go through in these locators in details. So I have written one sample class for compound locators. So if you see here, I have written one sample class, and here I am finding the web element username by using this by ID or name class, and here I am passing the text as my text. Basically this is an ID attribute to text, so I am passing that one to find locate that web element. So if this ID is not there, then it will search the name attribute is containing this text or not. If it is containing the text, it will find the element. If both didn't contain this text, then it will throw out no such element found exception. So here I am taking the example of this text class. So if I am opening this, so this page actually I am taking into consideration for compound locators, and this is the text. So if you run this text, so I'll close all these browsers to avoid confusion. So here I have this text is already passed, but I'll run it again. So here I am using by ID or name. So if you run this one, yeah, So it got passed, and here I'm using new by id or name, and using that way I'm identifying the web element. Similarly, in by chain class, you can identify or locate the web element. So here what I'm doing, I'm going to this page. So let me go to this page. So in this page, so command F. So I'm locating, I'm finding an web element. I'm finding an element which is highlighted in the screen. So if you see here, I have used the CSS selector to highlight this section. So I want to find out all the labels present in this section. So inside this section, what are the labels present, I want to find out. And if you see in this web element, there are 5 levels present inside this section. So by using by chain class, I can find all the levels. So what I did here, I have initialized the driver, and I am navigating to the URL, and here I am finding list of web elements by using find elements method. In find elements method, I am passing the parameter new by chain, and here I am passing the first locator as that whatever the CSS selector I am selecting. So this is the parent CSS selector, and after that I am passing comma by dot tag name label. So what it will do, the by chain class, it will find all the labels present inside this first web element, and it will give us all the labels. And after that, I am asserting that there are 5 levels present. So if I run this one, it should pass, and it passed, which is correct. And similarly, I have given an example for by all. So by all will give us all the elements matching this locator strategies present inside that by all actually. So here also I have written the syntax. So this class 6 elements that matches a number of location strategies. So in this example, here I have used two locator strategy. One is by dot tag name form, and by dot class name row. So in this target page, so if I write double slash form, then there will be only one web element which is highlighted. So if you see the screen here, only one web element is there. Okay, so and if I write by dot class name row, so if I highlight dot row here, because dot row is the CSS selector will select that class name. So here only 2 elements are there. So so total 3 elements. So the by all, if as I am passing by dot tag name form and by dot class name row, so by dot tag name is returning 1 element, and by dot class name row is returning 2 elements. So total 3 elements will be found by this by all, because so that is what I am asserting. So it is asserting that the size is equal to 3. So if I run this one, it should pass. Yeah, so that's all. So these are all about relative locators and compound locators. See you in the next video. Thank you so much. If you have any question or doubts, you can ping me in our group or ping me in the comment section of this video. I'll attach the notes in the description.